Here's something wild. A single embarrassing shopping trip in 1977 led to a billion-dollar lingerie empire and completely transformed how we think about desire, marketing, and self-worth.
You're talking about Victoria's Secret, aren't you? That story about Roy Raymond feeling totally mortified while trying to buy lingerie for his wife?
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how he took that humiliating moment under those harsh fluorescent lights and turned it into this revolutionary retail concept, creating this sophisticated, almost theatrical shopping experience where men could feel like gentlemen instead of creeps.
The psychology behind it was brilliant. Dark wood, plush carpets, soft lighting, every detail carefully chosen to make the experience feel elevated and respectable.
And let's talk about that name, Victoria's Secret. It's this perfect balance between proper British refinement with Victoria and seductive mystery with secret. In his first year alone, he made $500,000 in sales, which in 1977 was pretty remarkable.
Though the real plot twist comes when Leslie Wexner enters the picture, right? He looks at this successful men's comfort brand and sees something completely different.
Wexner's insight was revolutionary. He realized women didn't want lingerie just for men's pleasure. Under his leadership, the company flipped from making men comfortable buying for women to making women feel powerful buying for themselves. And the numbers were staggering. By the late 1980s, Victoria's Secret became the largest lingerie retailer in America.
The transformation was incredible, but don't you think there's something tragic about how Roy Raymond's story ends?
Oh, absolutely. It's heartbreaking. He sells the company for $1 million, which seemed like a good deal at the time, only to watch it become this global phenomenon worth billions. His next venture fails, his marriage falls apart, and in 1993, he ends his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge.
The contrast between his personal tragedy and the brand's massive success really makes you think about how we measure worth and success in business.
And then there's this whole evolution under Wexner, the Victoria's Secret Angels, those elaborate fashion shows that drew over 12 million viewers annually. The fantasy bras worth up to $15 million each. It became this cultural phenomenon that was about so much more than just selling lingerie.
Well, until that same fantasy aspect became their downfall. That 2018 interview with Ed Razek really marked the turning point, didn't it?
That's right. When he said they wouldn't include transgender or plus-size models because it would ruin the fantasy, it exposed everything wrong with the brand. Within a year, their profits plunged, the fashion show was canceled, and Wexner stepped down amid scandal.
The timing couldn't have been worse, with the rise of brands like Savage X Fenty and Aerie completely redefining what sexy means.
And the numbers tell the story. When Aerie launched their hashtag #AerieReal campaign with no airbrushing, their sales soared 20% in just 1 year. It showed there was this huge untapped market for authenticity.
Though I have to wonder, are we really any more liberated under this new paradigm? We've just replaced one type of marketing with another.
That's such an interesting point. Whether it's Victoria's Secret's Perfect Angels or today's body-positive influencers, we're still being sold this idea that we need to buy things to feel confident. The language has changed from perfect to authentic, but the fundamental marketing strategy hasn't.
So what do you think the future holds for brands like Victoria's Secret?
Well, they're trying to reinvent themselves, bringing back the fashion show as a documentary-style event focused on empowerment and creativity. But when your entire identity was built on fantasy, pivoting to authenticity feels like a massive challenge.
It really shows how quickly cultural attitudes can shift, doesn't it?
And that might be the biggest lesson from this whole story. How one awkward shopping trip in 1977 led us to these bigger questions about identity, beauty standards, and self-worth. The lingerie industry has become this mirror, reflecting our changing values and attitudes.
Looking at it that way, maybe Victoria's real secret was showing us how complicated our relationship with confidence and desire really is.
And perhaps the next chapter won't be written by brands at all, but by a generation that's questioning who gets to define what's beautiful or desirable in the first place. Now, that would be a plot twist Roy Raymond never could have imagined during that embarrassing shopping trip.